Welcome to the Washington Children's Choice Picture Book Award video. Starring three mice who love a good story.
Hello. Hi. Glad to be back. Aren't you excited to hear about all these great books that you can choose your favorite from?
The Boo-Boos That Changed the World, written by Barry Wittenstein, illustrated by Chris Shue. In the 1920s, Earl Dixon had a klutzy wife who often cut herself. Son of a doctor, Earl set out to find an easier way for her to bandage her injuries. Band-Aids were born, but it wasn't until the Boy Scouts tried them out that they became available to the public. Can I Be Your Dog? Written and illustrated by Troy Cummings. A dog looking for a home sends letters to possible owners up and down Butternut Street with surprising results. Dear Substitute, written by Elizabeth Scanlon, illustrator Christopher Roshka. When a substitute teacher named Miss Pelly comes to class, one student bristles at the change of routine. Miss Pelly doesn't follow the rules like Miss Giordano, but in time our student learns that even though the substitute may do things a little differently, and she may be a bit silly, mixing things up might not be so bad. The Epic Adventures of Huggy and Stick, written by Drew Daywalt, illustrated by David Spencer. When a grumpy stuffed bunny and a happy-go-lucky Stick fall out of their boy's backpack, they embark on an odyssey that takes them all around the world, experiencing one crazy adventure after another.
I'd love to go on an around-the-world trip like Huggy and Stick. I'd go to Argentina and learn how to tango.
Friends and Foes, Poems About Us All, written and illustrated by Douglas Florian. There are all kinds of friends, good friends, bad friends, old friends, new friends, even imaginary friends. This funny, heartfelt, and refreshingly honest collection of poems explores the many facets of friendship. Fruit Bowl, written and illustrated by Mark Hoffman. A tomato tries to convince the fruit in the fruit bowl that he belongs there too, but his efforts prove to be fruitless until Old Man Produce helps settle the debate.
This book is so punny. I was giggling all the way through.
I Got a Chicken for My Birthday, written by Laura Gell, illustrated by Sarah Horn. All the birthday girl wants from her abuela is a ticket to the amusement park. Instead, she gets a chicken. But this chicken is no ordinary chicken. It has plans. With a lot of hard work and help from other animals, this chicken may end up granting the girl the best birthday gift ever. I Want That Nut, written and illustrated by Madeline Valentine. Meet Mouse and Chipmunk, two young rodents who want the same thing, a big, beautiful nut. But who deserves it more? After all, Chipmunk and the nut read together and lie in the grass and stare at the clouds. Chipmunk wants that nut. And Mouse and the nut play tic-tac-toe and have a dance party together. Mouse also wants that nut. But then Squirrel comes along and claims the nut for his own. What's a rodent to do?
Well, it seems clear to me that Mouse should get the nut, but maybe I'm a little bit biased.
Inky's Amazing Escape, How a Very Smart Octopus Found His Way Home, written by Cy Montgomery, illustrated by Amy Schimler-Safford. Inky had been at the New Zealand Aquarium since 2014, after being taken in by a fisherman who found him at sea. Inky had been getting used to his new environment, but the staff quickly figured out that he had to be kept amused, or he would get bored. And then one night in 2016, Inky, about the size of a basketball, decided he had had enough. He slithered 8 feet across the floor and down a drain pipe more than 160 feet long, back to his home in the sea. Interrupting Chicken and the Elephant of Surprise, written and illustrated by David Ezra Stein. It's homework time for the little red chicken who has just learned about something every good story should have, an elephant of surprise. Or could it be an element of surprise, as her papa explains? As they dive into story after story, looking for the part that makes the reader say, "Whoa, I didn't know that was going to happen," Papa is sure he can convince Chicken that he's right. After all, there are definitely no elephants in The Ugly Duckling, Rapunzel, or The Little Mermaid. Or are they? Elephant or element, something unexpected awaits Papa in every story, but a surprise may be in store for the little red chicken as well.
2 chicken stories. It is hard to choose which I like better.
Little Brown, written and illustrated by Marla Frazee. Little Brown is one cranky dog because no one ever plays with him at the animal shelter. Or maybe no one ever plays with him because he is cranky. But either way, Little Brown decides that today is the day to take action, and so he takes all of the toys and sticks and blankets from all of the dogs at the shelter and won't give them back. But what will happen now? Neck and Neck, written and illustrated by Elise Parsley. Everybody loves Leopold the giraffe. He inspires awe and wonder. His adoring fans gaze and cheer, and best of all, they feed him lots of delicious snacks. But one day, a shiny, bobble-headed new rival comes in and ruins everything. A giraffe-shaped balloon. Just how far will Leopold go to prove that he's the hero of the zoo? Philomena's New Glasses, written and illustrated by Brenna Maloney. Philomena needs new glasses. Her sister Audrey wants some too. And pretty soon, Nora Jane is feeling the pressure to get a pair of specs as well. The one-upsmanship escalates from there, with the 3 sisters finally learning that not everyone needs the same thing.
If I needed some glasses, I think I would choose a blue pair. That would go nicely with my fur.
Potato Pants, written and illustrated by Lori Keller. Potato is very excited to buy a pair of pants on sale at Lance Vance's fancy pants store. But when he sees Eggplant, who pushed him the day before, go into the store, he's afraid to go in at the same time. Will Potato get his pants? Rot, the Cutest in the World, written and illustrated by Ben Clanton. Rot, a mutant potato, enters a Cutest in the World contest and really hopes to win. But when he sees his competition, he worries that being himself might not be enough to do so.
2 chicken books, 2 dog books, and now 2 potato books. How are we ever going to choose our favorite?
Saving Fiona, the story of the world's most famous baby hippo, written and illustrated by Thane Maynard. This is the amazing true story of Fiona, a baby hippo born prematurely at the Cincinnati Zoo. It tells of Fiona's struggles and of the team of scientists and caregivers who nursed her to health and the vast community in Cincinnati and beyond who rallied around her. The Ugly Five, written by Julia Donaldson, illustrated by Axel Scheffler. Meet wildebeest, warthog, spotted hyena, lappet-faced vulture, and marabou stork. On the African savanna, they are known as the Ugly Five. But for all their bumps and bristles, these animals are just as lovable and intriguing as their more celebrated counterparts.
Wild animals in the sea, at the aquarium, at the zoo, and on the savannah. I love these books.
The Wall in the Middle of the Book, written and illustrated by John Agee. There's a wall in the middle of the book, and our hero, a young knight, is sure that the wall protects his side of the book from the dangers on the other side, like the angry tiger and the giant rhino, and worst of all, an ogre who would gobble him up in a second. But the knight doesn't seem to notice the crocodile and the growing sea of water that are emerging on his side. When he's almost over his head and calling for help, who will come to his rescue? an individual who isn't as dangerous as the knight thought, from the side of the book that might just have some positive things to offer after all. We Don't Eat Our Classmates, written and illustrated by Ryan T. Higgins. It's the first day of school for Penelope Rex, and she can't wait to meet her classmates. But it's hard to make human friends when they are so darn delicious. That is, until Penelope gets a taste of her own medicine and finds that she may not be at the top of the food chain after all. The Word Collector, written and illustrated by Peter Reynolds. Many people collect things. Jerome enjoys collecting and using words that he hears, reads, and sees, and then he decides to share his collection with others.
We've talked about animal books and fruit and vegetable books, but then there are these really good people books as well to choose from. This is going to be hard. So now you have to decide, will one of these be the book that you choose? Or maybe it'll be one of these really good titles. Or is it one of these? There are so many good books to choose from. Now is the time to think hard and choose the book that you liked best. And remember, even if it doesn't win, you found a book to love. Thank you for watching. Happy voting, and see you next year. Goodbye. See you later.
This movie has been made by Paula Whitman and the Mice, using Photo Story 3 for Windows.